Hello viewers, today we're going to make pizza. This is not a full-on elaborate pizza made from scratch. I'll do that on video someday, but today we're just going to make a simple pizza, a working man's pizza. And I can throw this together on Tuesday night after work and it just takes a few minutes. So here's what we're going to cheat. We're going to use something that's pre-made. This is the Essential Baking Company pizza crust. This is a pretty clean piece of bread. It only has 5 ingredients, and I mean, there's no nutritional value necessarily, but it's much more reasonable than some of the other stuff you can get. So after we got our thing in there, we're going to start with some cheese. Now this is pan pizza. It goes on the stove top. It's not being baked. This is already cooked, so we don't have to really bake it. We just have to warm it up for a little while. So we're going to start with a little bit of 4 cheese blend from Mexico. We're just going to kind of cover the bottom of this. Not real thick, just kind of enough to cover the bottom of the pan here, or the bottom of the top of the bread. This is why I don't make elaborate meals during the week. I typically save that for the weekend. I just make a simple meal during the week, you know, because you get home from work and your brain is checked out and you just need something simple. Not you know, non-delicious or non-nutritious, but you know, something that's easy to make, and this is. So we'll start with the cheese. Now we got that cheese, we're going to put some sauce on here, tomato sauce. And I'm going to cheat again and use tomato sauce out of a can, which I very, very seldom do. Pizza sauce in particular is very easy to make, but I'm just going to use this for now. This is a very good sauce for something that comes out of a jar. I quite like it. Now I love tomato sauce. I could eat it plain. And so in a lot of my cooking, you'll notice I just load tomato sauce on various different things. Can't necessarily do that with pizza because it'll just get really oily and wet, you know, and so we're going to put enough sauce on here to cover the pizza, but we got to be a little more conservative than I would like to be. Now we just kind of spread this around here and make a even coating. Try not to get any cheese into my jar of sauce here. It's no good. And I'll leave a little bit of room on the edges so that you can pick it up and not get all dirty while eating it. Alright, that's pretty much good like that. Then you throw the top for the sauce jar on the floor and make a mess. I just took a quick break to clean that up. So now I have some chicken here. These are breaded cutlets, and we're going to put these on there. I like to add chicken to pizza pretty much always. Not that pizza is a health food by any stretch of the imagination, but this adds a little bit of protein at least, and some flavors. So I cut these down in half vertically, and then we'll cut them horizontally a couple times. I like bigger chunks. And I've been criticized in a couple of videos for not using a cutting board. Well, I just used the plates because, again, they're easy to clean up. You just throw this in the dishwasher when I'm done here, rather than having to wash the cutting board. To me, this is just easier. Alright, so there's the chicken ready to go. And we'll just put this on here evenly. Make sure it lays flat. Alright, so there's our chicken on there. Next, I'm gonna add some buffalo sauce. Frank's. I like this sauce a lot, very good sauce. We're not gonna go crazy with this, just enough to get the flavor in there, a little bit of heat to it. Kind of drizzle it around. Alright, this should be good. It's a little bit more than I usually put on, but I like this sauce. So we'll do that. Hopefully it doesn't get too liquidy. This can cause a liquid issue too, just like the tomato sauce. Alright, next we're going to add some Romano cheese. Get another spoon. And then we're going to finalize it with some mozzarella cheese. This is the Calabro shredded cheese. This is low moisture cheese, and that's very important because if it's not low moisture, you get a liquid problem and it'll get really gross. So you always want to use low moisture cheese. I don't know why this is so stuck together. In fact, it kind of feels quite damp. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but we need to get this to disperse a little more evenly than that. I don't know what's going on here. I wonder if this was out of the fridge for too long or something. We'll do the best we can to make a nice even coating. It's not going to be easy because this is all messed up here. I think we're going to have some trouble getting this to melt if this doesn't start working better. Now the reason I put the chicken on first before the cheese, and that's very important, that's not the way a lot of people do it. I like to put the chicken on first so that the topping of the chicken ends up in between the cheese and the rest of it, and so it kind of stays in place. Whereas if you just put the chicken on top, sometimes it falls off when you're trying to eat it, and that's stupid. So I do it this way so that the cheese, whatever the heck that stuff is, the chicken kind of stays in place better. Alright, that should be enough cheese. I really don't like the way this is going on. It usually goes on nicer, but for whatever reason, we're having some trouble today. Okay, so we'll call that good enough for the cheese, and I'll just eat the rest of it because I'm not gonna, no point in saving that amount. Okay, now we're gonna move to the stove. High heat, probably a little more than halfway up, and we're gonna let this sit here for not too long. It shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. And what we're going to watch for is the bottom of the pizza to not burn. I like it to be a little bit crispy, not crunchy, just a little bit crisp to it, which we'll be able to achieve right around the time that it becomes ready. Now, if you notice here, there's too much sauce. We're already having a moisture issue, but that should kind of correct itself as it cooks. It's high temperature, so that'll start to burn off and dry out again. Starting to get a little crispy on the bottom, so I'm going to lower the heat down a bit. We got to melt the top cheese still. So this is kind of the problem I was expecting, because the cheese is so clumped up like that. It's not melting properly. So we'll just kind of push it down a little bit, and that should kind of solve the problem. Yeah, on the side there, that's what it should be looking like across the whole thing. And of course now the cheese is spilling off and getting burnt and making a mess in the pan. I'll try to push that back on. Get some damage control over here too. Yeah, it's starting to melt now, just got to give it another couple of minutes and it should be ready. Yeah, it's almost there. Alright, I think we're going to call it. It's pretty much all the way through melting. There's a couple pieces that aren't, but the bottom is about as crispy as I would want it to be. So that's it. So we're going to move it onto a cutting board. There we go, that's right, I'm going to use a cutting board. I don't have any plates that will cut this well. So, should not drink soda during a video. I'm going to grab this pizza here. It's very heavy actually, which is strange. I don't know why it's so heavy. Move that over. And we're going to cut it with a non-serrated knife. You don't want to use a serrated knife on a pizza. You want to just make a nice clean cut right down through it like this. Okay, I've got a plate over here that I've had sitting on top of the toaster, so it's hot. And we're going to move this pizza over to here, like this. And I would let it sit for a few minutes before you try to eat it, because it's going to be a little liquidy at first. But that's it. This is the pizza. It looks fantastic. And it don't take much to prepare this. It's pretty simple. Only about 10-minute cook time, maybe 5-minute preparation time, and you got a nice inexpensive pizza.